Good morning. I'm going to give people a couple of minutes to get logged in here. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining me today. This is VirtualPBX dash admin training. If you're a vConsole customer, we are no longer doing the live trainings for vConsole. However, if you go under our support page, all right, and let's go to vConsole support. You scroll down just a little bit. Over here on the right, that's our advanced admin training for the vConsole. So that covers all of your training needs for the vConsole. Likewise, for Dash, if you scroll down a bit, the new user training here, that's also the full training that we're going over today. Once everyone gets in here. And on both, below the videos, we have individual guides for features or VoIP devices, basically things you would make use of on either platform. The guides that are linked there, they typically do have screenshots, so you know what you're looking for as you're going through the individual features. Alrighty then. In either case, if you need to log in, you go under support and you would click on PBX login. It takes you to the login general page. So first up, we have Dash login page. This is for all of our Dash users. Down below that, we have the VirtualPBX web phone. This is a VoIP device that is specific to the Dash platform. It makes use of desktop browsers on using desktop users or laptop users using Chrome or Firefox currently. We are developing a new version which may expand the usage of the web phone to include mobile devices and hopefully other browsers they're working on. I know they're working on Safari and they've been also working on Microsoft Edge. And then if we scroll down a little bit further, we get the vConsole login page, and that's for our vConsole users. All right, on the Dash login page, your username, that's going to be your email address. That usually, if you're the the person who signed up for the account, it's going to be the email address you gave us. Otherwise, your admin inputted your email address when he created your user, your password, and then your account name. Is normally your company name. You can also click on Forgot Your Info link there if you forgot your password. Oops, looks like I hit the wrong password. And then now we get to the general dashboard page. So basically this is giving you a snapshot of your system and how it currently exists. So right here we have users. These are your fully functional users. These are people who make and receive calls. They can use a variety of devices, meaning they can get calls on a landline or a cell phone. They can make and receive calls from any VoIP phone, soft phone, etc. Below that, we have agents. These are people who are receiving calls and they're specific to ACD queues, and they are restricted to VoIP phones. Users also have a lot of features that they have access to that agents do not. So like things like call forwarding. You've got hot desking if you have like a shared office environment. They can, since they have multiple devices, they can set up their own follow me calling to set those different devices up. Things like that. And we'll get into those features as we go through. Below agents, we have total devices. So basically, these are the devices you have on the account. And these are basically what are user devices or agent devices. So all your VoIP phones are going to show up here. If you have a cell phone associated with the user, that's also going to show up as a device here or in that count. Over on the right, we have the main numbers. So these are the phone numbers that your customers call to get to your phone system. These numbers all behave the same way, meaning they all play the same, and they all have the same routing. Down below, or just below that, you've got your fax box number. So this is for your inbound faxing, right? For those who still make use of faxing. Total numbers, assigned numbers, and spare numbers. Assigned numbers means these are numbers that are in use. They go somewhere, whether they're a main number, or they go directly to a particular user, or to a ring group, or to an ACD queue, or your fax box, or your conference number. Spare numbers, these are numbers you have on your account, meaning you're going to be charged for them, but you're not using them in any way, i.e. they're not ringing to anything. So it's a number you've decided to keep for future use, or you were using it for a previous ad campaign. That campaign's over, but you want to hold on to that number because you can use it again for a future campaign instead of having to get a new number every time. USDID versus US toll-free. US toll-free is like 800 number or 877 number. USDID would be a local number. So like a Los Angeles area code phone number or New York area code phone number. Scrolling down, company directory. These are the number of your users who've opted to be in the company directory. Your account ID, this is your account number. You can use that to identify yourself to VirtualPBX, either like your billing or support teams. However, like if you ever call in to us, we're typically going to just ask if you're a company name and look you up that way. And then down below that, yeah, the account realm. That is used for programming a third-party VoIP device, or if you're using outbound faxing. That's part of your domain to send a fax out. All right, up here, we've got the company caller ID, and you can set it up by each of your phone numbers. The company caller ID name, also referred to as CNAME or CNOM. So this is text that shows up as part of the caller ID information. So by default, when a call goes out, the number is displayed right on your phone. It's like, oh, you're getting a call from this particular phone number. Then later on, phone companies said, hey, you can put text in front of that, saying so that way you can put your company name in. Now that text is restricted to 15 characters, including spaces and special characters. That's an industry-wide standard, at least as far as I've been told. It takes a few business days for that information to get updated to all the servers who support CNAME. Now, one thing to keep in mind about CNAME is not every carrier in North America supports CNAME, which is unfortunate, because that means if a call routes through one of those carriers that doesn't support it, the CNAME information gets stripped off and doesn't get sent down further down on the call chain. And then lastly, one thing to keep in mind, if a person has programmed your phone number into their device, the device information will supersede anything we send. Just local supersedes the general. All right. Further down here, we have the company emergency address information, or E911. This is typically for your VoIP phones. Basically, if you pick up a VoIP phone, dial 911. This is the default address information that gets sent out to emergency services. So you want to make sure that's correct. And you can actually have that changed by device, or actually by user, as needed, since you may have people who are working remotely. Hold music, this is the default hold music for the system. And this is for when a call is already connected to a user, and then that user puts someone on hold, presses hold on their phone. All right. For calls coming in, no matter what, they're just going to hear ringing. In terms of files, you can upload an MP3 or .wav file. Right now, we're restricted to 1 megabyte uploads. So an MP3 file at 1 megabyte is roughly 5 minutes. So that's usually plenty of time for most hold music situations. And for any media upload for Dash, it is a .wav or .mp3. We do typically recommend MP3 since you can get larger or longer files in there. And then we have the hours, which is going to take you to a subset of the main number side on the left here. All right, so by default, your office hours strategy for a new account starts you at 24-hour open office. Most people just decide to do with the custom office hours. For each day of the week that you're open, you put a check mark. And then you enter your open hours in 24-hour or military time. One little feature down here is if your whole office or store is closed for lunch, you can put a check mark here and then enter your lunch hours. So that way the system knows, hey, when it comes to lunchtime, it just automatically puts you in the lunch mode. You don't have to do anything yourself. And if you make any changes, you click Save Changes. All right. Office holidays. You can create office holidays for your company ahead of time. So you can have you do so by over here, add holiday, single day, date range, or advanced. All right, so single days like here, like President's Day, set for February 18th. And then the system knows once it hits the 18th, you're in holiday mode. Now, for something like President's Day, which changes every year, after that holiday, you're probably going to want to delete this and or create the new one for next year. I usually just delete it and say after a while you can come back in, just like that way you don't have yourself closed on successive days. Because as you notice, there's no input here for a year. All right. Down here we have the date range. So for Christmas time, December 22nd to the 26th. So basically the 22nd comes along, system will put me into holiday mode until the 26th or through the 26th. So then on the 27th, boom, we're back into your normal schedule. The caveat for date range is, since there is no year designation, you do not want to have a date range that covers New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. It doesn't just put you in holiday mode all year at that point, because it doesn't know how to handle that. And then lastly, the option for advanced, where you can say, hey, the second Monday in March, no matter the year, will be closed. And again, save changes. Next up, we have incoming call handling. And you have 3 basic options. Now, one thing to notice is up here, you have these other tabs, right? So default, you can do open hours because that's typically your most important when they get set up. You have your lunch hours because previously I said this office is closed for lunchtime. After hours for your non-open hours. And then holidays because I have set holidays. And then these 3 options here are available for all of these tabs. So you can have different routing per time of day. All right, so incoming call goes to the virtual receptionist. This is basically call comes into an auto attendant. you play a greeting, you have menu options that your inbound callers can press to get to people, or voicemail boxes. Option number 2, or B, call comes in, comes to a user. And if you notice here, this is a pull down. So you got different users, got groups. You have devices, which don't recommend, media files, and you also have groups, which is this section down here. And then virtual receptionist. So basically what this is, the idea for this is you're giving a staff member or staff members a chance to answer that call first. If they're not able to pick up, then the call goes to virtual receptionist so the inbound caller can enter a menu option. So they still have a chance to reach somebody. Option 3, again, a call comes in, can go to a user, to a group, queue, etc. If they're not able to pick up, then the call gets sent to a voicemail box. This option also has the option of, at the very bottom here, you can just go, boom, straight, skip to voicemail. Just you're sending them directly to voicemail. So let's go ahead and click on the virtual receptionist here. Boom, here's a virtual receptionist with menu options. So on the left are the menu options. You would click on add route to add a new menu option. In this case, I would add 8 since that's the next available option. And then I can have it say we go to Charles. Now, if I don't want menu options to show up anymore, or like, oh, that's no longer necessary, you can simply click on the X next to them to remove. Now, when you go here, you click Save. You also need to click Save Changes, and that way all those changes get saved. If I didn't do that, both save and then the save changes, it wouldn't work, and then you have to go back in and redo it. Over here, your greeting options. So text to speech, you simply type in what you want the system to say. It's read off in a computerized voice. It's available immediately. And you have the option here is like, oh, this doesn't sound right. You can edit the box without having to retype the whole thing. Upload your own file. Again, .wav, .wav, or .mp3 file you can upload to the system. Like you already have the file, right? So you had like professional recording. Did you do it for you, or you did it yourself on the computer, what have you? Main things to remember about files you upload to the system: needs to be recorded in mono, not in stereo. Basically, when you listen to a file over the phone, it's a mono device. And so when you upload it in stereo, you just hear a lot of static. You can choose from existing recordings. So if you've already uploaded a bunch of recordings, or we've moved some customers from vConsole to Dash, they'll have their old recordings that they're available to them. You can record it over the phone. So this is tied into your VoIP phones that are already on the system. You can pick up, dial your main number, enter the PIN, and you record the greeting. Now, one thing to keep in mind about recording over the phone is it's only going to allow you to record over the phone for the greeting for the time it's in. So like if you want to do your open hours, you need to make sure that the system is in open hours. So then you can call into the open hours menu and record. Likewise, so then if you want to do your closed hours or your after hours, you have to make sure the system is after hours mode. So then you can call in and record it. Normally, if you're not already open for business, or like this is like you're just testing it out, it's easy to do. You can simply, temporarily set yourself into after hours mode to record and then set it back. Professional recording services. We've partnered with Snap Recordings. Click on order here. It'll take you to their site. And basically they have something like 100 voice actors to choose from. They have different versions of English. They have English and Spanish and French. You can do bilingual. They have their own packages, so they can do a combination of a message with music mixed in between, that sort of thing. They record in MP3 or .wav. They have rush capability, so they can get it to you in a few days. So a lot of different options there. All right. So it looks like no one has showed up, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the broadcast.